Hello and welcome to another episode by A Wagging Success. With us, as always, is Philip van Heerden. Hi, Philip.
Hi, Dusha. How are you? I hope you are well up north.
We're cold, but we're well. Thank you so much. You guys are entering your rainy season now.
Yes, I see Cape Town has got some miserable weather and it's well on its way to here. And tomorrow is going to be extra cold, that's for sure.
Well, luckily we can stay indoors and talk all about dogs. So today we are talking about different types of training and how you can progress through various levels of training with your dog, all the way up to hopefully specialized training. So Philip is going to guide us from where you start with your puppy's training and where you can aim to end up with your dog eventually if you so choose. Philip, take us away.
Good. Let me just first apologize from my side for not being on air for a while. I had equipment problems and my laptop was away for quite some time for repairs and a new one at that. So hopefully it'll be better from here onwards. All right, so we have discussed a lot uh, about training, but I think we need to just discuss the process that the animals should go through. We've discussed puppy school, which is an absolute must. A lot
Mm-hmm.
of people think once puppy school is done, that's it, they on their
Yes.
way, but they're not. Because after puppy school should come basic obedience training.
Okay, and what is basic obedience training?
Okay, basic obedience training will be your normal sit down, your heel, and don't ever forget that with all this is your area adaptation, socialization. Your leash work will come into this. Your things like recall will come into this. So all the basics on obedience will come into this, and a good trainer will take you through that, and always add a little bit of extra here and there. And then from there, we will go to advanced obedience training. This is where things start getting difficult. Um, my sits and stays become further, my downs and stays, my drop command. Um, I get more distance from my dog. My leash work, I learn to walk my dog on either side of me so that he's comfortable with both sides. If he's too close to me, it's putting a little bit of space between my hip and the dog. So you'll go into all the advanced sections of what you did in basics. And, you know, those two, depending on how often you attend classes, but those two can take you up to 6 months, if not longer,
Mm.
depending on the age of your dog, depending how well your dog has adapted, how well he's socialized, whether he's adapted into a group training. Uh, um, you know, all these little things come into that at a later stage. And from there, a lot of people stop here as well because they feel they're okay now, they can carry on. But
And
a
and I think a
lot,
lot of people they simply don't know that there is more to come. They think that's the limit with their dog.
yeah. I normally look at this stage or through the whole process. I look at the excuse me, the dog's ability. Does he have the ability to go further in life than
Mm.
just into obedience and advanced obedience? Does he have the drive required to go into protection work? Does he have the drive to go into tracking? Because we have slow tracking and we have high speed tracking. Can he go into either one of those? We also have, at this stage, explosives detection, firearm detection. And as we progress, uh, you know, does he have the drive to become a cadaver dog to detect bodies? If we remember the incident in George where that building collapse, a lot of Malinois there. Those are cadaver dogs. The deceased body gives off smell, which the dogs can detect. They can detect people in enclosed situations where they're giving off smell, where there's fear and adrenaline. And then we have the dogs who can detect bodies in water. And this is an interesting one. A lot of people ask me, how is it possible that a dog can detect a body that is meters underwater, entangled in reed, possibly buried in mud? Um, how do these dogs do it? I mean, no dog can smell down there. So it's normally the body giving off air bubbles which surface, and they can't detect where there's fast flowing water, um, moving water. They can detect where the water's still, and where there's a slight breeze, because the accuracy of the detection depends on the breeze blowing the scent in a certain direction. So it's not what goes down, it's all what comes up. People ask about suitcases. How can a dog smell inside a suitcase? He can't. What actually happens is somebody handles the drugs, for example, that get put into a suitcase. They might build a separate compartment in the suitcase, and then they will pack the drugs in plastic containers or something. They'll try and hide the smell of the drugs, and then they'll pack it in there, and then they'll go and get the clothes that go into the suitcase. And as far as they're going, their hands are contaminating everything. They touch the suitcase on the outside, they contaminate the whole thing. So eventually, and we must take the sense of smell that the dog has. It's no good you taking clothing and washing them to get the dried divorce smell out of your clothes. Not going to work. It can come out for washing. The dog's still going to know it was there. So no matter how you wipe the suitcase, try and clean it, you're just contaminating it more and more. So the dogs actually detect it very easily. So there's a lot of depth into each one of these, but the question always is, after advanced basic training, does your dog have the drive to move forward? We can't take a dog with zero drive from there and teach him, try and teach him to do attack work and tracking work and explosives and stuff. They need there must be a reason why they do it, and that's the drive. And a lot of them are toy driven, prey driven. A tracking dog will track because when he finds the baddie, there's going to be a fight on. So he's got that drive. And in each case, the drive is very similar, not necessarily totally different, but they need that to go forward. So you need to assess the dog as you're busy going through the training phase. You did CGC with your dogs and your groups. Just explain to us what CGC is.
I actually think there's a whole other area that you can take your dog into. There's highly functional and tactical training that you can specialize your dog in, but there are also many dog sports, and I think that CGC falls more into that arena because CGC stands for Canine Good Citizen. Now, in South Africa, this is a KUSA endorsed certification that your dog will complete. So, any dog in South Africa hoping to become, for example, a guide dog needs to start by completing the CGC certification. Canine Good Citizen certification comes in 3 levels. It's bronze, silver, and then gold. So bronze is your very, very basic obedience. Can your dog walk past another dog? Can your dog walk with you on a leash? There's about 13 or 14 tests that you're going to do at bronze level. At gold level, you're going to do a little bit of what Philip described with a slightly more advanced obedience training where there's more distance between you and your dog. So that's when you have to do some off leash handling, and that's where you put distance between you and your dog. You put your dog in a stay for an extended period of time. You walk away, you call the dog to you, stuff like that. It's not highly specialized. In my personal opinion, I think that every normal person with a normal family dog can get KUSA Gold certified. It's an excellent way to provide a broad kind of guideline or goal for you and your dog to work towards. It's something fun to go do. Sometimes you make the test on the first try, sometimes you don't, you fail, and you have to try again. And that's part of the fun. So, Canine Good Citizen is a lacquer thing for companion dogs to specialize in when it comes to their training.
And you have the dogs that the kids read to.
Yes, another very fun thing. One of our dogs we worked with ended up working with children at a reading center where her entire job would be to be still and listen to the children reading to her. And one of the very interesting things that came from that is that it especially worked for children who do not have the confidence to read to their peers or to adults. They weren't intimidated by this dog they could read to. So it was fun and easy for them. And then they could practice their skills for reading out loud to this dog. And we started her on 30 seconds that she should lie on her special reading bed and not fall asleep and look at the child reading. And then slowly worked up and up. And I think they ended at 15 minutes that she would lie down and do her job. And her job is listening to the kids read. And once she's done, they give her a special treat, which is just a normal snack in a special bowl. And then she's dismissed and she can go off and be a happy dog again.
So the interesting thing about that is the only drive the dog needs is food drive.
Yes, so any dog can do it.
Yeah. So, and I mean, 99.9999% of dogs are food driven.
Yes.
So, or will be food driven if you need them to be. So,
Yes.
yeah. So, then obviously we go to agility training. We've had
Eyeball.
dogs, one in particular that is now abroad, that was an agility dog and went blind, and we switched her onto detection work. So she
And
went
she
on to drug
turned out
detection,
to be one of the best detection dogs ever. She progressed
even though she's
so
blind.
quickly,
Yeah.
especially because she's blind. She is
Mm.
phenomenal to this day.
So this is why coming through puppy school and coming through basic obedience to advanced obedience, and then assessing your dog as you go along to see what the drive is, where this dog can go, and where can I give my dog a job to do. And I mean, what more
Absolutely.
fun? No, what
That's
more fun?
that's what it comes down to, right? Is fulfilling my dog.
Yes. Yeah. And once you're up there on those levels, you're having a lot of fun, loads of fun. So yeah, I think a very interesting subject, and I hopefully people will just relook at their dogs and ask themselves, what can I do with this dog?
You can ask yourself, what is my dog capable of if I'm willing to put in the time?
Yeah, absolutely.
Philip, one thing when new clients phone me, I often have a quick first discussion with them, as you know we do. And one of the things I say, I want to train my dog. And then I say, okay, lekker, in what? What training do you want to do? And then they pause for a second, and often they don't realize there's different types of training.
No
And
idea.
that's why discussion like this is so important, just to open up that avenues and open up your thinking to tell you there's so many options for you and your dog, whether you're competitive in nature and you're going into flyball and agility, whether you're in it for the fun and you teach your dog to look for weed so you can search through your teenager's bags and make sure his friends doesn't bring weed into your house. Whatever you want, you can train your dog in that and we can help you.
And there's another thing for the runners. There's cross country running with
Yes.
dogs in South Africa now, which I thought was very interesting. So a lot of training involved in that, a lot of high fitness levels. But man, the dogs love it. They really love it. Okay? So looking at your own personality, your levels of energy and everything, you can find the right, so we call it niche where you belong,
Mm.
and research it and go in that direction and go and have fun. And your dog will love it. They want to work, they want to be out there, and you can make it so much fun for the whole family, in actual fact.
Listen, if worse comes to worse, you can get trick dog certifications for your dog. If you are not a person who goes out there and you do things with your dog, you want to stay near your couch. We can respect that. You can earn trick dog titles with your dog. There's really
Yes.
something for everybody and every dog.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's never ending.
Yes.
But remember that, if you've got a family dog, and make it a family thing as well. Teach
Mm.
your kids to work with a dog rather than fall on him and play with him and hurt him and all the rest of it. Teach them from a young age to work with the dog, do basic stuff. And by the time they're sort of 6, 7 years old, many of them are hooked on the dog work, and they enjoy it. And it keeps the kids busy and
It's
out of
better
trouble.
than drugs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, thank you so much, Philip. I hope this discussion has been enlightening to somebody out there. Think about what you want to do with your dog. And then I have to say, as a small plug, we do any of these training, any idea you can come up with your dog, we can probably help you do that. We are yet to turn somebody away and say we can't do that. If your commitment is there, we're going to work with you. So be careful before you phone us. Hit like and subscribe on our videos, please. Let us know if there's anything else you want us to talk about. And then I think we're out for today.
Absolutely. Everybody be safe out there. Take care. Have fun with your dogs.